Did you know one of Hollywood's most infamous murders remains unsolved to this day? In 1947, the body of 22-year-old aspiring actress Elizabeth Short, known as the Black Dahlia, was found brutally mutilated and left in a vacant lot in Los Angeles. Her body was cut in half with surgical precision, and the crime scene was staged in a chilling manner. Despite a massive media frenzy and countless suspects, the killer was never found. The gruesome murder shocked Hollywood and remains one of the most famous cold cases in American history. Subscribe for more spine-chilling crime stories. Did you know a secret group of code breakers helped end World War II? During World War II, a team of brilliant mathematicians and linguists worked in secret at Bletchley Park in England. Their mission was to crack the Enigma code, used by Nazi Germany to send encrypted messages. Led by Alan Turing, these code breakers developed the world's first electronic computer to decipher the codes. Their success in breaking Enigma is estimated to have shortened the war by 2 years, saving countless lives. The incredible work done at Bletchley Park remained classified for decades, but now it's recognized as one of the most important achievements of the war. Subscribe for more extraordinary history facts. Did you know the ancient Olympic Games were nothing like today's? The first recorded Olympic Games were held in 776 BC in Olympia, Greece. These games were part of a religious festival to honor Zeus and featured only a few events, such as running, wrestling, and chariot racing. There were no gold medals. Winners received a simple olive wreath as a prize. The games were so important that wars were paused to ensure safe passage for athletes and spectators. The tradition of the Olympics has evolved over millennia, but its ancient roots still inspire the global event we know today. Subscribe for more amazing history facts. Did you know London once faced a terrifying new weapon during World War II? In 1944, London was targeted by German V-1 rockets, nicknamed doodlebugs due to their buzzing sound. These were the first cruise missiles ever used in warfare. They were designed to launch from France and glide over to England, where they could cause massive destruction. Although they were terrifying, the Allies developed countermeasures that helped reduce the damage. The fear of these bombs became a grim part of London's wartime experience. Subscribe for more fascinating history facts. Did you know 2 explorers once raced to be the first to reach the South Pole? In 1911, British explorer Robert Falcon Scott and Norwegian explorer Roald Amundsen set out on separate expeditions to be the first to reach the South Pole. Amundsen's team, using well-prepared strategies and dog sleds, reached the pole on December 14, 1911. Scott's team arrived a month later, on January 17, 1912, only to find Amundsen's flag already planted. Tragically, Scott and his men perished on their return journey due to harsh weather and lack of supplies. This epic race and its tragic outcome highlight the extreme challenges of polar exploration. Subscribe for more gripping history facts. Did you know a simple mistake led to the fall of the Berlin Wall? On November 9, 1989, an East German government spokesperson mistakenly announced that travel restrictions to the West were lifted immediately when they were supposed to be gradual. Hearing this, thousands of East Berliners rushed to the wall, demanding to cross into West Berlin. Overwhelmed, the border guards eventually opened the gates, leading to the spontaneous and joyous tearing down of the Berlin Wall. This event marked the beginning of the end of the Cold War and the reunification of Germany. Subscribe for more incredible history facts. Did you know that one of history's most famous fires might have been started by an emperor? In 64 AD, a massive fire broke out in Rome, burning for 6 days and destroying much of the city. Rumors quickly spread that Emperor Nero himself had started the fire to clear land for a new palace. Some even claimed he played the lyre while watching the city burn. While modern historians doubt this story, Nero did take advantage of the disaster to rebuild Rome in his own vision. The Great Fire of Rome remains one of history's most infamous events, shrouded in mystery and controversy. Subscribe for more intriguing history facts. Did you know a 3-year-old vanished from her family's vacation apartment, sparking one of the biggest missing person cases in history? In 2007, Madeleine McCann was on vacation with her family in Portugal when she disappeared from her bedroom while her parents dined nearby. The case grabbed global attention with countless investigations, theories, and suspects, but no trace of her was ever found. Despite numerous leads and even re-investigations, Madeleine's disappearance remains one of the most heartbreaking and mysterious missing persons cases in modern history. Subscribe for more tragic and unsolved crime stories. Did you know one ship blocked 12% of global trade? In March 2021, the Ever Given, a massive container ship, became wedged across the Suez Canal, one of the world's busiest trade routes. The ship was stuck for 6 days, halting billions of dollars in global trade. The blockage caused massive delays and impacted industries worldwide. Tugboats and dredgers worked around the clock to free the ship, finally allowing the flow of goods to resume. This incident highlighted just how interconnected and fragile global trade can be. Subscribe for more fascinating history facts. Did you know an emperor's tomb in China is guarded by thousands of life-sized soldiers? In 1974, farmers in China stumbled upon one of the greatest archaeological discoveries of all time, the Terracotta Army. This massive collection of sculptures, buried with the first emperor of China, Qin Shi Huang, includes over 8,000 soldiers, along with horses and chariots. Each figure is unique, with detailed expressions and armor. They were created over 12,200 years ago to protect the emperor in the afterlife. The sheer scale and craftsmanship of the Terracotta Army make it one of history's most fascinating wonders. Subscribe for more incredible history facts. Did you know Stonehenge's purpose remains a mystery even today? Stonehenge, the iconic stone circle in England, was built over 4,000 years ago. But why? Some believe it was an ancient burial ground, while others think it was a place of worship or an astronomical calendar. Despite numerous studies, the true purpose of Stonehenge is still unknown, making it one of history's greatest mysteries. Subscribe for more fascinating history facts. Did you know the COVID-19 vaccine was developed in record time? In response to the global COVID-19 pandemic, scientists around the world worked at unprecedented speed to develop vaccines. The first vaccines, using mRNA technology, were authorized for emergency use in December 2020, less than a year after the virus was identified. This rapid development was made possible by decades of prior research and international collaboration. The vaccine rollout marked a turning point in the fight against the pandemic, saving millions of lives and setting new standards for vaccine development. Subscribe for more timely history facts. Did you know a tiny component caused a worldwide tech crisis? In 2020, the COVID-19 pandemic triggered a global shortage of semiconductor chips, essential components in everything from smartphones to cars. As factories shut down and demand for electronics soared, the chip supply chain couldn't keep up. This shortage led to delays in manufacturing, skyrocketing prices, and significant impacts on industries worldwide. The crisis highlighted the critical role semiconductors play in modern life and the vulnerabilities in global supply chains. Subscribe for more current history facts. Did you know one of the largest cash thefts in U.S. history happened in broad daylight? In 1950, a group of armed men pulled off a daring heist at the Brinks Armored Car Depot in Boston, stealing $2.7 million in cash, checks, and money orders. The robbers wore Halloween masks and left almost no evidence behind. They thought they had gotten away with the perfect crime, but nearly 6 years later, just days before the statute of limitations was up, one of the men confessed, leading to the arrest of the entire gang. Subscribe for more thrilling crime stories. Did you know one of the world's most famous diamonds is believed to be cursed? The Hope Diamond, a stunning blue gem, has a history of bringing misfortune to its owners. Legend that the diamond was stolen from a statue in India and that the curse started there. Over the centuries, owners of the Hope Diamond have faced bankruptcy, imprisonment, and even death. Today, it sits safely in the Smithsonian Institution, but its eerie reputation still lingers. Subscribe for more intriguing history facts. Did you know a tea shipment sparked a revolution? In 1773, American colonists in Boston, angry over British taxes on tea, took a bold stand. Disguised as Native Americans, they boarded 3 British ships and dumped 342 chests of tea into the harbor. This act of defiance, known as the Boston Tea Party, escalated tensions between Britain and the colonies, leading to the American Revolution. The event became a powerful symbol of resistance and the fight for freedom, forever changing the course of history. Subscribe for more powerful history facts. What if I told you one of history's most notorious figures was obsessed with eternal youth? Count Countess Elizabeth Bathory, known as the Blood Countess, lived in 16th century Hungary and was accused of murdering hundreds of young girls. Why? Rumors said she believed bathing in their blood would keep her youthful forever. Historians debate the true extent of her crimes, but her legacy as one of history's cruelest figures endures. Subscribe for more dark tales from history's forgotten corners. What if touching a 5,300-year-old mummy could seal your fate? In 1991, hikers discovered Ötzi, a mummy preserved in ice in the Alps. Soon after, strange deaths followed those involved in Ötzi's discovery. The lead pathologist, a mountaineer, and even the hiker who found him all met untimely deaths. Some say it's a coincidence. Others believe in the curse of Ötzi. What do you think? Just bad luck or something more sinister? Subscribe for more ancient mysteries and legends. Have you heard about the ghost ship frozen in time? Legend has it that in the late 1700s, the ship Octavius was found drifting off Greenland. Inside, the entire crew was frozen to death, including the captain, who sat at his desk with a pen in hand, mid-sentence. The ship had been missing for over a decade, said to have attempted the dangerous Northwest Passage. Whether real or myth, it's a haunting story of a voyage that met an icy fate. Subscribe for more maritime legends that send shivers down your spine. Did you know one of the worst environmental disasters was caused by a single explosion? In 2010, an explosion on the BP-operated Deepwater Horizon oil rig in the Gulf of Mexico caused the largest marine oil spill in history. Over 4 million barrels of oil poured into the ocean over 87 days, devastating marine life and local economies. It took years to clean up the coastline, and the impact on wildlife is still felt today. The disaster led to major reforms in offshore drilling practices, but the scars on the environment remain. Subscribe for more shocking modern disasters. Have you heard of the ship that supposedly disappeared into thin air? In 1943, the U.S. Navy allegedly conducted a secret experiment in Philadelphia to make a ship invisible to radar. But witnesses claimed the ship didn't just disappear from radar, it vanished entirely, then reappeared minutes later, with sailors suffering strange effects. Some say it was a failed teleportation experiment. Others believe it's just a wild conspiracy. But those who were there claim something unexplainable really did happen. Subscribe for more mind-bending mysteries from the depths of history. Did you know an entire colony vanished without a trace? In 1587, over 100 settlers established the Roanoke colony on an island off the coast of what is now North Carolina. When the colony's governor, John White, returned from a supply trip to England 3 years later, he found the settlement deserted. The only clue was the word Croatoan carved into a tree. The fate of the lost colony remains one of history's greatest mysteries. Subscribe for more intriguing history facts. Have you heard of a book so mysterious no one can read it? The Voynich manuscript, written in the 15th century, is filled with bizarre illustrations and text in an unknown language. Codebreakers, linguists, and even AI have tried to decode it, but its meaning remains elusive. Some think it's an elaborate hoax, while others believe it holds secrets about an ancient civilization or knowledge lost to time. Subscribe for more baffling mysteries that puzzle even the experts. Imagine crashing in the Andes Mountains and surviving against all odds. In 1972, a plane carrying a Uruguayan rugby team crashed into the Andes Mountains. Out of 45 passengers, only 16 made it out alive. After days without food or rescue, they made a desperate decision. To survive, they had to eat the bodies of those who didn't make it. After 72 days, rescuers finally found them. When the survivors returned home, they were met with both sympathy and horror. To this day, they carry the weight of that fateful choice. Subscribe for more tales of survival that push human limits. How did the master of the macabre meet his own mysterious end? In 1849, writer Edgar Allan Poe was found delirious on the streets of Baltimore, wearing someone else's clothes. He died shortly after, never able to explain what had happened to him. Theories about his death range from political kidnapping to rabies or even murder. Poe's final days are as strange and unsettling as the stories he wrote. Subscribe for more untold tales from literary legends. Imagine escaping every prison they throw you in and then vanishing forever. In the 1930s, Victor Lustig was known as the man who sold the Eiffel Tower twice, but his real genius was escaping. No jail could hold him. He slipped through bars, disappeared from solitary, and baffled authorities across the U.S. Finally, in 1939, he vanished entirely from Alcatraz, the most secure prison of the time. Some think he escaped, while others believe he assumed a new identity. No one ever found him, and to this day, his final escape remains one of history's greatest mysteries. Subscribe for more stories about the ultimate masters of deception. Did you know a housing bubble burst and brought the global economy to its knees? In 2008, the collapse of the U.S. housing market triggered the worst global financial crisis since the Great Depression. Banks had given out risky loans and created complex financial products, which led to the crash of major financial institutions. Millions lost their homes, jobs, and savings. Governments worldwide had to step in with massive bailouts to prevent a complete economic meltdown, and the effects of the crisis can still be felt today. Subscribe for more jaw-dropping financial disasters. Have you ever heard of an island covered in dolls, left to ward off spirits? In Mexico, there's a small island called La Isla de las Muñecas. The story began when a man named Don Julian Santana found a drowned girl in a canal. To appease her spirit, he hung a doll he found nearby. But he didn't stop at one. Soon, dolls covered the trees, strung up in various states of decay, with some even headless. Visitors say they can hear whispers and see the doll's eyes move. It's eerie, unsettling, and hauntingly real. Subscribe for more spine-chilling places around the world. Did you know Israel and Egypt signed a peace treaty that changed the Middle East forever? In 1979, after decades of hostility and wars, Israel and Egypt signed the Camp David Accords, a groundbreaking peace treaty brokered by U.S. President Jimmy Carter. Egyptian President Anwar Sadat and Israeli Prime Minister Menachem Begin agreed to normalize relations, making Egypt the first Arab nation to officially recognize Israel. This historic deal ended years of bloodshed and paved the way for future peace efforts in the region, though Sadat would be assassinated by extremists for his role in the treaty. Subscribe for more historical peacemaking moments. Did you know Israel pulled off one of the most daring rescue missions in military history? In 1976, an Air France flight was hijacked by terrorists and flown to Entebbe, Uganda, with over 100 Israeli and Jewish passengers held hostage. What followed was a stunning operation by Israeli commandos. On July 4th, Israeli forces flew over 2,000 miles to Uganda in a surprise rescue mission, stormed the airport, and saved 102 hostages in less than 90 minutes. The operation was a massive success, and it's still considered one of the greatest hostage rescue missions ever conducted. Subscribe for more heroic historical events. Did you know a massive earthquake caused one of the worst nuclear disasters in history? On March 11th, 2011, a 9.0 magnitude earthquake and tsunami struck Japan, triggering a meltdown at the Fukushima Daiichi nuclear power plant. Radioactive material leaked into the environment, forcing over 150,000 people to evacuate. The cleanup continues to this day, and the event raised serious concerns about the safety of nuclear energy. The Fukushima disaster changed the course of Japan's energy policies and left a lasting mark on the global debate over nuclear power. Subscribe for more chilling modern-day events. Did you know Israel defeated 3 powerful armies in just 6 days? In June 1967, tensions between Israel and its Arab neighbors, Egypt, Syria, and Jordan, erupted into the Six-Day War. Facing overwhelming odds, Israel launched a surprise attack on the Egyptian Air Force, gaining air superiority within hours. By the end of the 6 days, Israel had captured the Sinai Peninsula, the West Bank, the Gaza Strip, and the Golan Heights. This stunning victory reshaped the map of the Middle East and established Israel as a dominant military power in the region. Subscribe for more remarkable moments in military history. Did you know the world's biggest art heist is still unsolved? In the early hours of March 18, 1990, 2 men disguised as police officers walked into Boston's Isabella Stewart Gardner Museum. They tied up the guards and stole 13 pieces of art, including works by Rembrandt and Vermeer, worth over $500 million. The art has never been recovered, and the thieves were never caught. Despite multiple investigations and a $10 million reward, this remains one of the greatest unsolved crimes in history. Subscribe for more unbelievable crime stories. Did you know a group of fearless women terrorized Nazi soldiers from the sky? During World War II, the Soviet Union's all-female 588th Night Bomber Regiment, nicknamed the Night Witches, flew daring missions against German forces. These young women, some just teenagers, flew old, noisy biplanes that were easy targets, but they had a trick up their sleeve. They'd cut their engines and glide silently over enemy camps, dropping bombs with deadly precision. The terrified German soldiers called them Night Witches because the sound of their gliding planes was like the swoosh of a witch's broom. Their bravery earned them respect and fear, and they became one of the most decorated units of the Soviet Air Force. Subscribe for more incredible history facts. Did you know a ship was found drifting in the ocean with no one on board? In 1872, the merchant ship Mary Celeste was discovered adrift in the Atlantic Ocean, completely intact but without a soul on board. The ship's cargo was untouched, and the crew's belongings were still in place, but there were no signs of a struggle or distress. The lifeboat was missing, suggesting the crew abandoned ship. But why? Theories range from piracy and mutiny to underwater earthquakes or even paranormal events. To this day, the fate of the crew remains one of the greatest mysteries of maritime history. Subscribe for more puzzling history facts. Did you know 3 prisoners might have pulled off the greatest escape in history? In 1962, 3 inmates at Alcatraz, the notorious prison on an island in San Francisco Bay, carried out a daring escape. Frank Morris and brothers John and Clarence Anglin spent months digging through the walls of their cells with makeshift tools. On the night of June 11th, they climbed through the tunnels they'd created, inflated a makeshift raft out of raincoats, and disappeared into the night. The FBI searched for years, but the men were never found, and their fate remains a mystery. Did they drown in the icy waters, or did they manage to pull off the impossible? Subscribe for more captivating history facts. Did you know one of the world's greatest aviators vanished without a trace? In 1937, Amelia Earhart, the first woman to fly solo across the Atlantic, set out to circumnavigate the globe. But on July 2nd, she and her navigator, Fred Noonan, disappeared over the Pacific Ocean. Despite one of the most extensive search efforts in history, no trace of Earhart, Noonan, or their plane was ever found. Theories range from crashing into the ocean to landing on a deserted island or even being captured. Her disappearance remains one of the greatest unsolved mysteries of the 20th century. Subscribe for more intriguing history facts. Did you know one of America's most infamous serial killers was never caught? In the late 1960s, the Zodiac Killer terrorized Northern California, claiming at least 5 lives, though he hinted at more. The killer taunted police and the media by sending cryptic letters filled with coded messages, daring authorities to catch him. Despite numerous suspects, the Zodiac's identity remains a mystery. The case continues to baffle investigators and remains one of the most chilling unsolved serial killer cases in history. Subscribe for more mysterious crime stories. Did you know 9 hikers mysteriously died in the Russian wilderness, and no one knows how? In 1959, a group of experienced hikers set out on an expedition in the Ural Mountains. When they failed to return, a search party found their campsite abandoned, their tent torn from the inside, and their bodies scattered in the snow. Some had fatal injuries, others were undressed, and strange radiation was found on their clothes. Despite numerous investigations, the cause of their deaths remains a mystery, sparking theories ranging from an avalanche to secret military tests and even extraterrestrial encounters. The Dyatlov Pass incident is one of the most chilling unsolved mysteries in modern history. Subscribe for more thrilling history facts. Did you know a mysterious killer once terrorized an entire city? Between 1918 and 1919, a serial killer known as the Axeman of New Orleans brutally murdered at least 6 people in their homes. He would break into houses at night and attack his victims with an axe. The city was gripped with fear, but the killer was never caught. In one chilling letter to the press, the Axeman claimed he loved jazz music and promised to spare anyone playing it on a certain night. So the whole city filled the air with jazz. To this day, his identity remains unknown. Subscribe for more haunting crime stories. Did you know a massive explosion flattened 800 square miles of forest, and no one knows exactly why? In 1908, a mysterious explosion rocked the remote Siberian region of Tunguska. The blast was so powerful that it leveled an area twice the size of New York City. Trees were flattened. Animals were killed, but oddly, there was no impact crater. Scientists believe it was caused by a meteor exploding in the atmosphere, but no fragments were ever found. The Tunguska event remains one of the most baffling natural disasters in history, and its cause is still debated to this day. Subscribe for more jaw-dropping history facts. Did you know we may have received a message from aliens and we missed it? In 1977, while scanning the skies for extraterrestrial signals, astronomer Jerry Amon detected a strong radio signal from deep space. It lasted 72 seconds and was so unusual that Amon wrote "wow" next to the data. The "wow" signal came from the direction of the Sagittarius constellation, but it was never heard again. Despite countless efforts to track it down, the source of the signal remains unknown, sparking endless debate about whether it was a random burst or an actual message from another civilization. Subscribe for more cosmic history facts. Did you know it took more than poison and bullets to kill one man? Grigory Rasputin, the mysterious Russian mystic and advisor to the Romanov family, was feared for his influence over the Russian royal family. In 1916, a group of nobles plotted to kill him. They first fed him cyanide-laced cakes and wine, but to their shock, he didn't die. Panicked, they shot him in the chest. Yet Rasputin rose again, and they shot him twice more. When he still showed signs of life, they beat him, wrapped him in a rug, and tossed him into an icy river. His death marked the beginning of the end for the Romanovs, and his story remains legendary. Subscribe for more unbelievable history facts. Did you know one of the most famous heists in history didn't involve weapons but brains? In 1963, a gang of 15 men pulled off the Great Train Robbery in England, stopping a Royal Mail train and making off with today's equivalent of over $70 million. They used inside information and meticulous planning, tampering with railway signals to stop a train in a remote location. In just 30 minutes, they unloaded bags of cash and vanished into the night. Although most of the gang was eventually caught, the mastermind and the money were never fully recovered, turning this heist into a legendary tale of criminal ingenuity. Subscribe for more gripping history facts. Did you know a failed explosion almost changed England forever? In 1605, a group of English Catholics, led by Robert Catesby and famously including Guy Fawkes, plotted to blow up the Houses of Parliament and kill King James I. They filled a cellar beneath Parliament with 36 barrels of gunpowder, but just hours before the planned explosion on November 5th, Guy Fawkes was caught guarding the gunpowder. The plot was foiled, and Fawkes and his co-conspirators were executed. Today, November 5th is remembered as Guy Fawkes Night, with bonfires and fireworks celebrating the plot's failure. Subscribe for more explosive history facts. Did you know one city witnessed one of the most brutal massacres of the 20th century? In 1937, during the Second Sino-Japanese War, Japanese troops captured the Chinese city of Nanking, now Nanjing. Over the next 6 weeks, they unleashed a campaign of mass murder, rape, and destruction. Estimates suggest that as many as 300,000 Chinese civilians and disarmed soldiers were killed in what became known as the Nanking Massacre, or the Rape of Nanking. The horrific events left deep scars in China and continue to affect Sino-Japanese relations to this day. Subscribe for more intense history facts. Did you know there's a book that no one on Earth can read? The Voynich manuscript is a 600-year-old book filled with bizarre illustrations of unknown plants, astrological symbols, and pages upon pages of mysterious text written in an undeciphered language. Discovered by a rare book dealer named Wilfrid Voynich in 1912, it has baffled cryptographers, linguists, and historians ever since. Some believe it's a medieval cipher or code, others think it's an elaborate hoax, and a few even suggest alien origins. Despite countless efforts, the meaning of the Voynich manuscript remains one of history's most intriguing puzzles. Subscribe for more mysterious history facts. Did you know a plane crash nearly wiped out an entire sports team? On February 6, 1958, a plane carrying the Manchester United football team, known as the Busby Babes, crashed while attempting to take off from a slush-covered runway in Munich, Germany. The crash killed 23 people, including 8 players and several journalists. The tragedy sent shockwaves through the sports world, devastating fans and nearly ending the club. But from the ashes, Manchester United rebuilt, becoming one of the most successful football clubs in history. The Munich air disaster is a story of loss, resilience, and the power of the human spirit. Subscribe for more moving history facts. Did you know a single pandemic wiped out nearly half of Europe's population? In the mid-14th century, the Black Death, a deadly plague, swept through Europe, killing an estimated 25 to 50 million people in just a few years. Carried by fleas on rats, the disease spread rapidly, causing fever, painful swelling, and blackened skin. Entire towns were wiped out, and the social and economic fabric of Europe was shattered. The Black Death changed the course of history, leading to major shifts in power, religion, and the way societies were structured. Subscribe for more intense history facts. Did you know the Mona Lisa's smile is hiding a secret? The Mona Lisa, painted by Leonardo da Vinci, is famous for her mysterious smile. But did you know that scientists have discovered she has multiple layers of paint, each revealing a slightly different expression? Using advanced scanning technology, researchers found that da Vinci painted over different versions, making her smile change depending on how you look at her. Subscribe for more fascinating history facts. Did you know one bullet sparked a global war? On June 28, 1914, Archduke Franz Ferdinand of Austria-Hungary and his wife were assassinated in Sarajevo by a Serbian nationalist, Gavrilo Princip. This seemingly small act of violence set off a chain reaction that plunged the world into World War I. The assassination led to a series of alliances and declarations of war, pulling nations from around the globe into one of the deadliest conflicts in history. Over 16 million people died, and the world was forever changed by this single fateful event. Subscribe for more pivotal history facts. Did you know a single torpedo changed the course of World War I? On May 7, 1915, the RMS Lusitania, a British ocean liner, was struck by a German U-boat torpedo off the coast of Ireland. The ship sank in just 18 minutes, taking nearly 1,200 lives, including 128 Americans. The attack outraged the world and turned public opinion against Germany, bringing the United States closer to joining World War I. The sinking of the Lusitania became a powerful symbol of the dangers of unrestricted submarine warfare and played a key role in shaping the war's outcome. Subscribe for more pivotal history facts. Did you know one of history's greatest writers died under strange and mysterious circumstances? In 1849, Edgar Allan Poe, the master of macabre, was found delirious and wearing someone else's clothes on the streets of Baltimore. Just days later, he died in a hospital, muttering incoherently. To this day, no one knows exactly how he died. Theories range from alcohol poisoning and rabies to a practice called cooping, where people were kidnapped, drugged, and forced to vote multiple times for political candidates. Poe's death remains as haunting and mysterious as his own dark tales. Subscribe for more eerie history facts. Did you know a nuclear accident created one of the most dangerous places on Earth? In 1986, a reactor at the Chernobyl nuclear power plant in Ukraine exploded during a safety test gone wrong. The explosion released massive amounts of radioactive material into the atmosphere, contaminating large areas of Europe. The nearby town of Pripyat was evacuated, leaving it a ghost town frozen in time. The Chernobyl disaster exposed the dangers of nuclear power and had devastating health and environmental effects, making it one of the worst nuclear accidents in history. Subscribe for more gripping history facts. Did you know a man-made famine led to the deaths of millions? In 1932-1933, a devastating famine known as the Holodomor swept through Soviet Ukraine. It was largely caused by the policies of Joseph Stalin's regime, including forced collectivization and grain requisitioning. As a result, millions of Ukrainians starved to death in one of the darkest and most tragic events of the 20th century. The Holodomor is considered by many to be an act of genocide, deliberately orchestrated to crush Ukrainian resistance to Soviet control. It remains a deeply painful chapter in Ukraine's history. Subscribe for more powerful history facts. A 19th century scientist's mindset revolutionized learning. Charles Darwin, known for his theory of evolution, believed intelligence and talent can be developed through effort and perseverance. This growth mindset helped him persist through countless failures and rejections. Darwin's idea that we can always improve is now a cornerstone of modern education, encouraging everyone to keep learning and growing. Subscribe for more amazing historical insights. Did you know millions of Ukrainians starved while surrounded by food? In 1932, under Joseph Stalin's rule, Ukraine faced a horrific famine called the Holodomor. Stalin's regime confiscated grain from Ukrainian farmers, leaving them to starve while food was exported abroad. Over 4 million people perished in what many believe was a deliberate act of genocide. Survivors spoke of eating grass and bark to survive, yet the Soviet government denied the famine even existed. Today, it remains one of the darkest chapters in Ukraine's history. Subscribe for more hidden stories that reveal the brutal side of history. What would you do if a plane landed decades after it took off? In 1992, an air traffic controller in Venezuela was shocked when a plane appeared on the radar out of nowhere. It landed, and when officials approached, they found passengers confused and panicked. The pilot claimed it was 1955 and showed paperwork to prove it. The plane was Flight 914, which had been missing for 37 years. Before anyone could figure out what happened, the plane mysteriously took off and vanished again. Was it a time warp or an elaborate hoax? Subscribe for more stories that challenge what we think is possible. Imagine being trapped in a foreign embassy for 444 days. In 1979, Iranian revolutionaries stormed the U.S. Embassy in Tehran, capturing 52 American diplomats and holding them hostage for 444 days. The world watched in shock as the crisis dragged on, and rescue attempts like Operation Eagle Claw failed. But in a twist, Canada played a secret role, helping 6 Americans escape by disguising them as filmmakers. When the hostages were finally released, the world breathed a sigh of relief. But the scars of that event still linger in U.S.-Iran relations today. Subscribe for more gripping tales that shaped modern history. Did you know fear and superstition led to one of the darkest chapters in American history? In 1692, the small town of Salem, Massachusetts, was gripped by a terrifying wave of hysteria. Accusations of witchcraft spread like wildfire, fueled by fear, superstition, and personal vendettas. In a span of just a few months, 20 people were executed and over 200 were accused. The Salem witch trials are a chilling reminder of how quickly fear can lead to injustice and tragedy. Subscribe for more haunting history facts. Did you know one of the most horrific genocides in modern history happened in just 100 days? In 1994, Rwanda experienced a brutal genocide that saw the systematic massacre of around 800,000 Tutsis and moderate Hutus by extremist Hutu forces. The violence erupted following the assassination of Rwanda's president and quickly spiraled out of control. Neighbors turned against each other in horrific acts of violence, fueled by long-standing ethnic tensions. The international community largely failed to intervene, making the Rwandan genocide a tragic reminder of the consequences of hate and the importance of global responsibility. Subscribe for more sobering history facts. What if you visited a town and it disappeared overnight? In 1959, a man named James Cornell was driving through rural Pennsylvania when he stumbled upon a small town called Dudleytown. The streets were empty, but the houses looked lived in. He stopped for gas, but no one was around. Confused, he left. The next day, when he returned with friends, the town was gone, completely vanished. Locals claimed there was never a town there, but James had pictures to prove it. To this day, no one knows what he really saw. Subscribe for more mind-bending mysteries that leave you questioning reality. Did you know the discovery of a pharaoh's tomb sparked a worldwide obsession? In 1922, British archaeologist Howard Carter made one of the most significant archaeological discoveries of all time. the tomb of the Egyptian pharaoh Tutankhamun. The tomb was filled with incredible treasures, untouched for over 3,000 years. But the discovery also fueled legends of a curse after several people involved died under mysterious circumstances. King Tut's tomb not only gave us priceless artifacts, but also ignited a fascination with ancient Egypt that continues to this day. Subscribe for more fascinating history facts. Did you know the Eiffel Tower has a secret apartment at the top? Gustav Eiffel, the engineer behind the Eiffel Tower, built a small apartment for himself at the very top. It was a cozy, furnished space where he could entertain guests and enjoy a quiet retreat with a stunning view of Paris. The apartment was a well-kept secret for years and is now open for visitors to see. Subscribe for more amazing history facts. Did you know a single data breach exposed the private information of 87 million people? In 2018, it was revealed that a political consulting firm, Cambridge Analytica, had improperly obtained data from millions of Facebook users without their consent. This data was used to target voters in the 2016 U.S. presidential election and the Brexit referendum. The scandal led to major scrutiny of tech companies, new data privacy laws, and Facebook CEO Mark Zuckerberg testifying before Congress. It was a wake-up call about how our personal data is being used and misused in the digital age. Subscribe for more shocking modern-day events. What if I told you Israel once stole 100,000 pounds of nuclear secrets in one night? In 2018, Israeli intelligence agency Mossad pulled off one of the most daring heists in modern history. They infiltrated a heavily guarded warehouse in Iran and stole half a ton of classified nuclear documents. With guards patrolling every corner, they only had 6 hours to break into the safes, remove the files, and escape. By morning, Mossad agents had vanished without a trace. Iran was stunned, and the world was left wondering, how did they pull it off? Subscribe for more stories of high-stakes espionage that sound like a Hollywood thriller. Could a ghost really solve their own murder? In 1897, in West Virginia, a woman named Zona Shue died under mysterious circumstances. Her husband claimed it was an accident, but Zona's mother insisted she was visited by her daughter's ghost, who revealed her neck had been broken by her husband. Zona's body was exhumed, and sure enough, the autopsy confirmed the story. The husband was convicted, all thanks to a ghostly testimony. Subscribe for more unbelievable tales where the supernatural meets justice. Did you know Israel destroyed a nuclear reactor in a bold, preemptive strike? In 1981, Israel launched Operation Opera, a surprise airstrike on Iraq's Osirak nuclear reactor, which was believed to be part of Saddam Hussein's plan to develop nuclear weapons. Israeli fighter jets flew undetected across enemy territory and successfully bombed the reactor, crippling Iraq's nuclear ambitions. The mission was highly controversial at the time, but it's now considered a crucial move that prevented Iraq from developing nuclear weapons, securing Israel's safety in a volatile region. Subscribe for more daring military operations. Did you know one of the most famous UFO mysteries started with a crash in New Mexico? In 1947, a rancher discovered mysterious debris in Roswell, New Mexico. The U.S. military quickly claimed it was a weather balloon, but conspiracy theories spread that the wreckage was from an alien spacecraft. Decades later, the Roswell incident remains one of the most debated UFO events in history, sparking books, movies, and endless speculation about government cover-ups and extraterrestrial life. Subscribe for more mysterious modern events. Did you know scientists just unlocked secrets from over 2 million years ago? In December 2022, researchers in Greenland discovered the oldest DNA ever found, 2 million years old. These tiny fragments were preserved in permafrost and give us a glimpse into a prehistoric ecosystem full of now extinct animals like mastodons and ancient plants. This groundbreaking find is helping scientists better understand how life adapted to a much warmer climate during that time. It's like peeking into a lost world. Subscribe for more mind-blowing discoveries in history and science. Did you know mysterious human footprints reappeared after thousands of years? In July 2022, researchers found ancient human ghost footprints in the Great Salt Lake Desert of Utah. These prints secrets hidden for thousands of years only appear when the ground is wet. The footprints are estimated to be over 12,000 years old, dating back to the Ice Age. Subscribe for more shocking historical discoveries. Did you know one of the biggest gold robberies in history happened by accident? In 1983, a gang of armed robbers broke into the Brinksmat warehouse near London, expecting to steal a few million in cash. But instead, they stumbled upon 26 million pounds worth of gold bullion, diamonds, and cash. What was supposed to be a simple robbery turned into one of the largest heists in history. Although some of the robbers were caught, most of the gold was never recovered. The heist left a trail of corruption, violence, and mysterious deaths in its wake. Subscribe for more jaw-dropping crime stories. Did you know a billion-dollar company was built on a lie? Theranos, once valued at $9 billion, promised to revolutionize healthcare with a machine that could run hundreds of medical tests using just a drop of blood. At the helm was Elizabeth Holmes, hailed as the next Steve Jobs. But in 2015, investigations revealed that the technology didn't work. The company's claims were a fraud, and by 2018, Theranos had collapsed. Holmes and her partner were charged with massive fraud. It's one of the biggest scandals in Silicon Valley history. Subscribe for more jaw-dropping modern-day scandals. Did you know that one power outage left 50 million people in the dark? In August 2003, a massive power outage spread across the northeastern United States and parts of Canada, leaving 50 million people without electricity for up to 2 days. It was caused by a failure in the electrical grid that triggered a cascade of power shutdowns. People were stranded in elevators, traffic was paralyzed, and entire cities came to a halt. This blackout exposed the vulnerabilities in the power infrastructure and led to major reforms in how the grid is managed. Subscribe for more mind-blowing modern events. Did you know a killer once terrorized an entire city, leaving everyone in fear? Between 1962 and 1964, 13 women were brutally murdered in Boston, all believed to be victims of the infamous Boston Strangler. The killer would gain access to his victims' homes by pretending to be a handyman or delivery man, then strangling them with stockings or other clothing. Albert DeSalvo confessed to the murders, but many still doubt his guilt, as no physical evidence linked him to the crimes. To this day, some believe the real Boston Strangler was never caught. Subscribe for more bone-chilling crime stories. Did you know a 6-year-old beauty queen's murder has baffled investigators for decades? On Christmas Day in 1996, JonBenet Ramsey, a child beauty queen, was found dead in her family's basement in Boulder, Colorado. She had been strangled and beaten, and a ransom note was found in the house. Despite intense media attention and multiple investigations, the case remains unsolved. Some point fingers at her parents, while others believe an intruder was responsible. More than 25 years later, the mystery of JonBenet's murder still haunts the public. Subscribe for more heartbreaking crime stories. Did you know people became millionaires overnight and then lost it all in a flash? In 2017, Bitcoin, a digital cryptocurrency, skyrocketed in value, with prices reaching nearly $20,000 per coin. Overnight, early investors became millionaires, sparking a global frenzy. But by early 2018, the bubble burst, and Bitcoin's value plummeted, causing many to lose fortunes just as quickly as they had made them. The rise and fall of Bitcoin has become a symbol of the unpredictable nature of digital currencies and the risks of investing in unregulated markets. Subscribe for more mind-blowing modern financial stories. Did you know one of the biggest leaks in history exposed the hidden wealth of the world's elite? In 2016, a whistleblower leaked 11.5 million documents from the Panamanian law firm Mossack Fonseca, revealing how politicians, business leaders, and celebrities from around the world used offshore accounts to hide their wealth and avoid taxes. The Panama Papers implicated powerful figures from over 200 countries and led to government investigations, resignations, and a global outcry over financial secrecy. It's one of the most shocking exposés of corruption in modern history. Subscribe for more shocking modern events. What if I told you someone vanished on live TV, never to be seen again? In 1975, famous journalist and TV host Jim Thompson was in the middle of a broadcast when he abruptly stopped speaking. He seemed distracted, looked over his shoulder, and just walked off camera. His co-hosts thought he'd come back, but he never did. The live audience, producers, everyone was stunned. Authorities searched everywhere, but Jim was never found. To this day, no one knows what happened to him. Some think he stumbled onto a dangerous story. Others think he was abducted. Subscribe for more shocking mysteries from the world of TV. Did you know a peaceful revolution tore down a wall that divided a city for decades? On November 9th, 1989, after years of political pressure and protests, the Berlin Wall, an iconic symbol of the Cold War, fell. East and West Germans flooded the streets, tearing down the wall that had divided their city for 28 years. The fall of the Berlin Wall paved the way for German reunification and marked the beginning of the end of the Soviet Union. It was one of the most defining moments in modern history, symbolizing the triumph of freedom over oppression. Subscribe for more world-changing events. Did you know a secret U.S. mission tracked down the world's most wanted terrorists? On May 2nd, 2011, U.S. Navy SEALs raided a compound in Abbottabad, Pakistan, and killed Osama bin Laden, the mastermind behind the 9/11 attacks. After nearly a decade of searching, the mission was carried out in secret and lasted only 40 minutes. The successful operation marked the end of a long manhunt and a major victory in the global fight against terrorism, though bin Laden's death didn't end the threats posed by extremist groups. Subscribe for more thrilling modern-day operations. Did you know there's a massive floating island of trash in the ocean? And it's growing every day? In the heart of the Pacific Ocean, a swirling vortex of debris known as the Great Pacific Garbage Patch has formed. It's made up of millions of tons of plastic waste, stretching over 1.6 million square kilometers, twice the size of Texas. Most of the garbage comes from single-use plastics that break down into tiny pieces, harming marine life and ecosystems. Despite cleanup efforts, the patch continues to grow, serving as a stark reminder of the environmental impact of human waste. Subscribe for more eye-opening facts about our modern world. Did you know a single invention changed the world in ways we never imagined? In the late 20th century, the invention of the internet revolutionized the way people communicate, work, and live. What started as a military project turned into a global network that connected billions of people. From email to social media, the internet transformed industries, economies, and our daily lives. Today, we can't imagine life without it. But with the rise of the internet came new challenges: privacy concerns, cybercrime, and misinformation. Subscribe for more incredible stories of technological breakthroughs. Did you know scientists recently discovered a galaxy older than the Milky Way? In July 2022, the James Webb Space Telescope captured images of a galaxy named GLASSZ13, believed to have formed just 300 million years after the Big Bang, making it one of the oldest known galaxies in the universe. Subscribe for more mind-blowing scientific discovery. Ever wondered how samurai warriors stayed so fearless in battle? The samurai followed a strict code called Bushido, which means the way of the warrior. This code emphasized loyalty, honor, and self-discipline. They believed that a true warrior must be ready to die at any moment, which made them incredibly fearless and effective in battle. The Bushido code wasn't just about fighting, it was about living a life of integrity and courage. This mindset still inspires people today. Subscribe for more fascinating historical facts. Did you know a single ship became a powerful symbol in the creation of Israel? In 1947, the ship Exodus 1947 carried over 4,500 Jewish Holocaust survivors trying to reach Palestine. However, British forces who controlled the region intercepted the ship and sent the passengers back to Europe. The incident outraged the international community and increased support for a Jewish homeland. The Exodus became a symbol of the Jewish people's determination to create Israel, and it played a significant role in the UN's decision to partition Palestine later that year. Subscribe for more powerful moments in history. Did you know that ancient philosophers had a secret for emotional control that's still powerful today? The Stoics of ancient Greece, like Epictetus and Marcus Aurelius, believed in focusing only on what we can control. They taught that we should not waste energy on things outside our control, like other people's actions or random events. Instead, they believed in mastering our own reactions and emotions. This simple yet profound mindset helped them remain calm and composed, no matter the situation. Imagine applying that today. Subscribe for more incredible insights from history. Did you know a plane crash in in New York turned into a miracle? On January 15, 2009, U.S. Airways Flight 1549 struck a flock of geese shortly after takeoff, causing both engines to fail. With no power, Captain Chesley "Sully" Sullenberger made a daring decision. He landed the plane on the Hudson River. All 155 passengers and crew survived, and the event became known as the Miracle on the Hudson. Sullenberger's quick thinking and heroism saved lives and turned a near disaster into one of the most remarkable feats in aviation history. Subscribe for more unbelievable true stories. Did an entire village vanish into thin air? In the 1930s, a fur trapper in Canada arrived at the Inuit village of Anjikuni, only to find it abandoned. Food was left on fires, personal belongings untouched, and no signs of struggle. Even the graves were mysteriously emptied. Theories range from alien abduction to supernatural forces, but the truth remains unknown. Subscribe for more stories that defy explanation. Did you know a single vote changed the course of history and led to the creation of a new nation? In 1947, after years of tensions and negotiations, the United Nations voted to partition Palestine, leading to the establishment of the State of Israel on May 14, 1948. David Ben-Gurion, Israel's first prime minister, declared the country's independence, and just hours later, neighboring Arab nations declared war. The conflict resulted in the 1948 Arab-Israeli War, which Israel won, solidifying its place on the world map. The birth of Israel not only reshaped the Middle East, but also had global political and cultural implications that are still felt today. Subscribe for more incredible moments in history. Did you know Israel was caught off guard in a war that nearly ended its existence? On October 6, 1973, during Yom Kippur, the holiest day in Judaism, Egypt and Syria launched a coordinated surprise attack on Israel. The Israeli military was unprepared, and for the first time, it seemed like the country could be overwhelmed. However, after initial setbacks, Israeli forces regrouped and pushed back their enemies, eventually crossing the Suez Canal and encircling the Egyptian army. The war ended in a ceasefire, but it left a lasting impact on Israeli society and its future defense strategies. Subscribe for more historic military battles. Did you know the kidnapping of one baby shocked the entire world? In 1932, Charles Lindbergh, the famous aviator, experienced every parent's worst nightmare. His 20-month-old son was kidnapped from their New Jersey home. A ransom note demanding $50,000 was left behind, but even after the ransom was paid, the child was not returned. Weeks later, the baby's body was found just miles from the Lindbergh home. Bruno Hauptmann was eventually arrested, tried, and executed for the crime, but many still believe that the full story behind the kidnapping remains a mystery. Subscribe for more shocking crime stories. Did you know a legendary ship lost for over a century was recently found? In 1915, Sir Ernest Shackleton's ship, the Endurance, was crushed by ice and sank during his ill-fated Antarctic expedition. For over 100 years, its exact location remained a mystery until March 2022, when researchers finally discovered the ship's remains, perfectly preserved at the bottom of the Weddell Sea. The freezing temperatures and lack of light kept the ship in remarkable condition, almost like a ghost from the past. Subscribe for more incredible historical discoveries. Did you know a recent discovery could rewrite human history? In September 2021, archaeologists uncovered ancient human footprints in New Mexico's White Sands National Park, estimated to be around 23,000 years old. These footprints suggest that humans were living in North America much earlier than previously thought, challenging long-held beliefs about when the first people arrived on the continent. Subscribe for more amazing historical breakthroughs.